Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans. And what we do around here is bring about conversations of a psychological, mental health, emotional health paradigm. We do that as often as we can, usually several times per week. We continue to do that for your listening pleasure in the easiest and most simple way possible. And get over 1,200 of these for your listening pleasure. Hopefully something that you enjoy. Please like, subscribe, comment below. If there's a topic you'd like to see covered, would love to be of benefit to you there. Bad habits, breaking habits is something I work through with my clients on, especially bad ones, on a continual basis. And we do that for your benefit. But what are some bad habits a lot of people get into? The first is gossiping. So obviously, look, we all want something to talk about, and we all have opinions that are or can be valuable about what other people are doing, thinking, feeling, how they're behaving, and all of that. The problem becomes opinions are just that, they're just opinions. And so at the end of the day, an opinion, although it's valuable, really has no long-term value. And so what that means is oftentimes people overplay the value of opinion in a negative way, and that then leads to challenges as it relates to going forward with how to have meaningful relationships. If a person feels that we are going to gossip about them, they're going to be less likely to be honest about their feelings, their emotions, their beliefs, their reasons for behaving in a certain way, and therefore we are formulating less than pure, less than honest relationships. The next thing is the archetype of the overgiver. So the overgiver is the person who's also known as the people pleaser. These are individuals who feel the need to give to others, even to their own detriment. It can often be extremely unhealthy. It can often be extremely, in a negative space. When we are overgivers, especially if the continuation of belief is that by overgiving, eventually we will instill certain emotions that we want from another person. We'll get loyalty, we'll get power, we'll get influence, we'll get whatever we get. And then when we don't get that, we feel jilted, we feel angry, we feel frustrated, or whatever the case may be. That ultimately gets to a super unhealthy space for a number of reasons, not limited to the fact that at the end of the day, a lot of people don't understand the value that is placed upon how we all kind of need to go forward, would like to go forward, and all of that. So the next thing there is, at least in part, blame. The blame game is irrelevant. If something happens, there may be a person who is more to blame than another, but when we place blame upon other people, what we're really doing is setting them up for some degree of frustration, some degree of dissatisfaction, some degree of taking that blame, but also holding on to blame also leads us to have within our own minds a reason not to forgive the other person, and the lack of forgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. That is, when we blame another person for what someone else has done or hasn't done, we ultimately then get to a place where we can't really resolve the issue within ourselves. Instead, we're waiting for someone else to behave in a certain manner, which ultimately is not going to lead anywhere good, healthy, or justified. And so that becomes super challenging for a number of reasons, none of which are going to actually lead us anywhere meaningful in the long run of things. And so that becomes problematic for, like I said, a number of reasons there. And ultimately that becomes a unhealthy balance, and that is something that we all need to look at, reevaluate, and identify whether or not it can be healthy for us and lead us to a good and justifiable place.